Your life right now is nothing more than a mirror reflecting back the thoughts, beliefs, and limits that live inside your mind. Look at where you stand, look at what you've achieved, look at what you haven't achieved, look at the way you respond to challenges, look at the way you react when life gets hard, and understand this. None of it is random. It is a direct reflection of the mind you've been carrying with you every single day. If your results are weak, if your confidence is broken, if your habits keep pulling you back into the same hole, it isn't because the world is unfair. It isn't because destiny is against you. It's because your mind has accepted mediocrity and your life has followed along like a shadow. Every single thing you do starts in your head before it shows up in your reality. The way you think when you wake up, the stories you tell yourself when you fail, the lies you repeat when you're tired, they all pile up and form the walls around the life you're living. If your mind says you're not strong enough, your body will move like you're not strong enough. If your mind says you don't deserve more, you'll never step into the actions required to earn more. If your mind says pain is the enemy, you'll run from it, and in running from pain, you'll also run from growth. Your life is not stuck because life is unfair. Your life is stuck because your mind is stuck. People want to change the outside without changing the inside. They want success, but don't want to rewire their thoughts. They want discipline, but refuse to kill the excuses that keep them soft. They want results, but they keep the same weak mentality that created their current situation. That's why nothing changes. You can join a new gym, you can start a new project, you can move to a new city, but if your mindset doesn't change, you'll drag the same broken patterns everywhere you go. Your surroundings will change, but your results will stay the same because you never attack the root. The mind is the command center of your entire existence. Every action you take is filtered through it. If the command center is corrupted with weakness, doubt, and fear, then every move will be infected. That's why people never break free. They try to patch up their life while the main system is broken. They keep painting the walls of a house with a cracked foundation. Eventually the cracks show again because the core problem hasn't been fixed. The harsh truth is you've been programmed by years of giving in to weakness. Every time you listened to the voice that said quit, every time you accepted comfort instead of struggle, every time you avoided hard work because it hurt, you trained your mind to believe that was the standard. You trained it to believe quitting was normal. You trained it to see comfort as survival. That programming runs deep, and until you destroy it and replace it, you will continue to live inside its prison. Changing your mind is about breaking those codes, smashing those patterns, and rewriting the entire system. It means every time the weak voice rises, you override it with action. It means you stop identifying with your past mistakes and start identifying with who you want to become. It means you stop saying, "I can't," and start proving that you can by stepping forward when everything in you wants to retreat. You're not trapped by circumstance, you're trapped by perspective. Shift perspective, and suddenly the walls crumble. Look at someone who refuses to quit, someone who keeps moving forward no matter what's thrown at them. Their body might not be stronger than yours, their opportunities might not be bigger, but their mind has been trained to see obstacles differently. Where your mind sees a wall, theirs sees a ladder. Where your mind sees pain as punishment, theirs sees pain as a signal they're on the right path. The only difference between them and you is not luck, not talent, not fate. It's the programming of the mind. Your mind is like a lens. If the lens is cracked and dirty, everything you look at will appear broken and impossible. If the lens is clear and sharp, you'll see opportunities where others see dead ends. The events are the same, but the perspective determines the outcome. That's why changing your mind changes everything. You're not changing the weight of the world, you're changing the strength of the lens through which you carry it. But here's the part most people never understand. Changing your mind isn't about repeating positive words. It isn't about waiting for inspiration. It isn't about reading a few quotes. That's surface level. Real change comes when you put yourself in the furnace of discipline and force your brain to adapt. You go to war with the old identity by taking action that contradicts the weakness you've been living in. When the old voice says you're tired, you run anyway. When it says you'll never make it, you show up and push harder. When it says it's too late, you prove that late is better than never. Every time you take action against that old script, you write a new line of code into your mind. Do it long enough and the entire system transforms. You've got to understand, the life you want will never exist if your mind doesn't change first. You want financial freedom, but your mind is programmed to avoid risk and seek comfort. You want physical strength, but your mind is programmed to quit at discomfort. You want discipline, but your mind is addicted to instant gratification. You want respect, but your mind constantly takes the easy way out. These are contradictions, and until the contradictions are eliminated, you'll keep living a divided life. You can't demand strength with a weak mentality. You can't demand growth with a comfort-seeking brain. You can't demand transformation with the same thinking that built your current reality. The minute you start attacking those contradictions is the minute your world starts to shift. You wake up earlier, even though your mind screams for sleep, and suddenly the mind bends a little. You go to the gym when you don't feel like it, and the mind bends more. You stay disciplined with your goals even when no one is watching, and the mind learns a new language. That's how you break free, one rep at a time, one act of defiance against the old mind at a time. Stop blaming circumstances, stop blaming the world, stop pointing fingers. The life in front of you is the exact reflection of the mind inside you. Change the mind and the reflection changes. Keep the same mind and nothing will ever move. This is the reality most people will never face. But if you want to rise above mediocrity, you don't have a choice. You either change your mind or you live the rest of your life chained by it. Discomfort, pain, and struggle are the words people run from, the forces that send most into hiding, but they are also the exact ingredients that create transformation. You want growth, but you run from the very thing that builds it. You want strength, but you treat pain like poison instead of fuel. You want discipline, but you see struggle as a curse instead of the gift that forges character. The truth is every single person who became unrecognizable from their old self was built in the fire of discomfort. They stopped labeling pain as punishment and started using it as a tool. The reason most lives never change is because people misinterpret pain. The moment it hurts, they think it means stop. The moment it's uncomfortable, they think it means it's not for them. The moment it feels overwhelming, they think it's a sign to turn back. They don't understand that pain is the language of growth. It's the signal that the old identity is dying and a stronger version is being born. You don't get stronger by staying comfortable. You don't get disciplined by choosing easy. You don't get confident by avoiding challenges. All of it comes from being in the furnace and letting the fire strip away the weakness you've been carrying. When you first touch struggle, it burns. It feels unbearable. But that burn is not destruction, it's transformation. It's your muscles tearing so they can rebuild stronger. It's your mind breaking its old limits so it can expand. It's your willpower being tested so it can become unshakable. If you keep pulling back every time you feel it, you're cutting off the exact process designed to change you. You stay the same because you've convinced yourself pain is a wall when it's really a doorway. Think about it. Every victory in life came after discomfort. Every accomplishment you're proud of required you to push through struggle. Every breakthrough happened on the other side of resistance. Yet even with all this proof, you keep running from it. You want the results without the process. You want the strength without the suffering. But life doesn't work that way. The only currency it accepts for greatness is pain, and the only people who ever cash in are those willing to pay with discomfort. Your relationship with pain determines your future. If you treat it like an enemy, you'll always hide from it and stay small. If you treat it like a teacher, you'll start to see lessons in every hardship. Pain teaches patience, struggle teaches resilience, discomfort teaches persistence. Every second you spend in the fire adds another layer of armor to your character. That's why the strongest people you know have suffered the most. That's why the most disciplined people have endured the hardest roads. They didn't avoid the furnace, they stepped into it and let it shape them. The problem is most people have been brainwashed to think comfort is the goal. Comfort is sold as happiness. Comfort is sold as success. But comfort is quicksand. It feels soft when you sink into it, but it holds you down until you can't move. It drains your fight. It weakens your spirit. It kills your potential. The comfort you're addicted to is the very reason your life looks the same year after year. You've mistaken safety for freedom, but real freedom is on the other side of struggle. When you start embracing discomfort, you flip the entire game. Instead of running from what hurts, you run toward it. Instead of fearing the challenge, you welcome it. You start seeking out the things that make you stronger rather than avoiding them. The weight that once felt impossible becomes training. The rejection that once broke you becomes fuel. The long hours, the failures, the setbacks all become weapons instead of wounds. That's the shift when struggle stops being your enemy and becomes your tool. You become unstoppable. But don't mistake this. Embracing pain doesn't mean you love suffering for the sake of suffering. It means you understand its purpose. You don't go through the storm because you want to be drenched. You go through it because the storm washes away the weakness and leaves you cleaner, sharper, stronger. You don't sit in the fire because you want to be burned. You sit in it because the fire burns away everything that doesn't belong in the version of you that's rising. Every rep you hate in the gym, every early morning you dread, every lonely night working when others are asleep, every failure that stabs your pride, all of it is molding you. You may not see it immediately, but it's happening. The discipline you build in the gym leaks into your career. The resilience you build in your career leaks into your relationships. The persistence you build through rejection leaks into every dream you chase. Discomfort doesn't stay in one area. It multiplies into every part of your life. That's why it's the most powerful tool you'll ever have. When you run from discomfort, you're not saving yourself from suffering. You're robbing yourself of the transformation. The suffering is going to come anywhere. Life will throw pain at you whether you chase greatness or sit still. The difference is if you choose it willingly, it builds you. If you avoid it, it breaks you. You don't get to choose a life without struggle. You only get to choose if the struggle makes you or destroys you. You have to rewire your relationship with the word hard. Stop seeing hard as impossible. Start seeing hard as the path. Stop saying this is too much. Start saying this is exactly what I need. Stop avoiding the weight because it's heavy. Pick it up because it's heavy. The heaviness is what builds you. The struggle is what strengthens you. The pain is what polishes you. Without it, you'll stay dull, average, ordinary. With it, you can carve yourself into someone unrecognizable. Most people will never understand this, and that's why most people never change. They keep choosing what feels good now instead of what makes them great later. They keep choosing the couch over the grind, the easy excuse over the hard truth, the short-term comfort over the long-term transformation. That's why they stay stuck. You don't have to. You can flip the script. You can stop running from the furnace and step into it. You can stop treating pain like punishment and treat it like the currency of greatness. Every time it hurts, remind yourself this is the process. Every time you struggle, remind yourself this is the shaping. Every time you feel like quitting, remind yourself this is the test. And when you pass the test, the results will come, not just in your achievements, but in who you've become. That's the real reward, not the trophy, not the money, not the applause. The person you've built by walking through fire while everyone else ran from the smoke.